Hello there, beautiful people. This is Andrea Hayes, and today I am going to talk about forgiveness in marriages. Okay, so before I get started, I want you to hit that like button, and I also want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I truly believe you will get some great tips that can help you in your everyday life. So let's start talking about marriage. Marriage is when two people get together before the Lord and decide to make a commitment, a covenant, saying, I am going to spend the rest of my life with this person, and that you're going to work together, be together, no matter what, during the good times and the bad times, right? And so during those bad times, there are going to be times where you need to forgive your spouse. What does it truly mean to forgive one another? It means you might have some resentment of something that your spouse did to you, right? And it made you upset. It was very hurtful. And we have to learn how to forgive. It doesn't mean that you forget what that person has done to you. It just means that you're not going to carry that emotional baggage, that resentment everywhere you go. Because if you do that, it will make your marriage very complicated. And we have to realize that both human beings, the husband and wife, are not perfect. They are going to make a mistake, okay? I've been married 22 years. I am not perfect, guys. And during that process, I've hurt my husband. He has hurt me. And I have learned that it is so important to forgive quickly, because if not, it will harden your heart. And that is something that you don't want to do. You always want to be vulnerable to your spouse. You want to be able to be open to them. If you always have that resentment with you and not forgive, it's going to destroy your marriage, okay? So how do we get over when your spouse does something to you? I always go back and think about how Jesus Christ, God, has forgiven me of my sins. And I think about all the bad things that I have done in my life, and think about how God has forgiven me. And I should do the same for others. I should do that for my spouse, especially the person that is the most important human being in my life. That is so important to talk to my spouse and tell him how I feel. You need to express your feelings, why that hurts you. How can you solve that problem? And the other thing is, you have to talk about the expectation of each other, because usually what we do, we have so many high standards that we expect our spouse to be able to hit each standard, right? The only living person can do that is God. That's it. That is the only person that is going to satisfy you. The Spirit of the Lord is the only thing that is going to satisfy you. So you have to think in your mind, my spouse is not perfect. What am I going to do in this situation? Even if he doesn't stop hurting me, what am I going to do? I'm going to put my expectations on God, and I'm going to go before the Lord and have that discussion and pray about, God, this is really hurting me right now. I need you to solve these issues for me. Can you please touch my husband's heart, Lord? Sometimes he can't hear my voice. So a lot of times what I do in my marriage, I go before God before I go to my husband and let the Lord hear me, because guess what? The Lord is the one that supplies my needs and some of my wants, right? So we need to have that mindset that first we go to God about that hurt, about that pain. 2, go to our spouse, tell them what bothers you, come up with a solution. 3, put the expectation on God. And 4, Humble yourself, look at yourself, examine yourself, and realize you're not perfect. So guess what? My spouse is not going to be perfect, right? And 5, guys, go for counseling. Sometimes you just need that third person to evaluate your situation and really think about how to solve that problem. And then look at yourself and say, am I being too sensitive about this? Am I overreacting? And really take a look at yourself, because forgiveness is about yourself. It's not about your spouse. It's about letting go of those feelings and giving it to God. And how do you know that you truly, truly have forgiven that person? The emotions won't come back. You won't talk about it all the time. Like when I forgive my husband, I do not try to bring it back up, have more discussions about it. If he repeats something, like one time I wanted him to buy me gifts. Guess what? My husband is not great at buying gifts. He is not great at it. So you know what? I quit putting that expectation on him. You know what I started doing? I did give him a list. If he gets some of those things, I am so thankful. I pray to God about it. It's like, can you please let him listen to my desires? And God does that, and he answers it. But if he doesn't, if my husband don't go and buy gifts or say the beautiful words that I want to hear, guess what? I do it for myself, and I get it from God. I say, God, please help me for what I want. So I want to leave you guys with this scripture. It says, try to excuse your spouse's behavior. Remember that we all stumble many times. James 3:2. Just remember that, guys. We are all human beings and we're going to make mistakes. And when things get tough and hard, that is the time to pray. That is the time to lean in, take a pause, and really evaluate yourself and spend time, more time with your spouse. I hope these tips help you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope this really explain about forgiveness and letting go. Guys, you have a great day. Go work hard, be active, and pray about your marriage. And you have a blessed day. Take care. Bye.